I mean this in the nicest way possible. Don't put your health on the back burner. This is I Mean This in the Nicest Way Possible, and I'm your host, Richard Armand Mills. In all honesty, I fucking hate working out. I hate fitness culture. I hate the industrial, metal, soulless gym vibe. I hate the moral superiority. And I hate the way it's sold to us like suffering equals virtue. And I'm not even chasing six-pack culture. I like dad bods over abs. I've never cared about being muscular. I just want to stay a certain amount of thin, feel good in my body, and keep my life moving. But here's the part I can't lie about anymore. I don't fear not working out. I fear not moving enough to do right by my body long term. I had a moment that made it real. I was 32, out with friends, dancing at the club, just living, and my legs started cramping so badly they were locking up. Dancing put me in legitimate pain. I tried dropping it like it was hot one last time, and that was the final straw. I ripped my jeans and could barely move without pain. So I quietly inched my way out, called a taxi, and ran to my boyfriend's house in shame. And I remember thinking, this is not cute. This is not normal. This is my body telling me I've been treating it like an afterthought. So this episode isn't a go become a gym person lecture. It's about preservation. It's about nutrients, movement, and internal care that actually fits real life. I'm going to talk about what works for me, like walking, hiking, dancing around the house, and circuit training, plus how I think about food, supplements, plastics, seed oils, organic choices, and why I'm not buying the shortcut fantasy. Because taking care of health stopped being optional when I realized I can't do or accomplish anything without a functioning body. And I have way too many goals and dreams to accomplish. Health isn't theoretical. It doesn't live in future intentions or good advice saved for later. It becomes real the moment your body says no. For a lot of people, that moment isn't dramatic. It's subtle, humiliating, or inconvenient. Pain where there shouldn't be pain. Tightness that limits movement. Fatigue that shows up too early. The realization that your body can't keep up with the life you're trying to live. That interruption is the wake-up call. Not fear, not vanity, but function. This is where stretching, mobility, and circulation stop being optional extras and start being foundational. Movement isn't just about burning calories or changing how you look. It keeps joints lubricated, muscles responsive, and blood flowing efficiently. According to the American Heart Association, regular movement supports circulation, reduces stiffness, and lowers long-term risk for cardiovascular and metabolic disease. When circulation is poor and muscles stay dormant, the body compensates with pain, cramps, and limitation. That's the body drawing a boundary. Harvard Health's reporting on physical activity makes this clear. Consistent, moderate movement improves flexibility, balance, and muscular function, while reducing injury risk as people age. The benefits compound over time, but only if movement is present. Waiting doesn't preserve capacity. It quietly erodes it. It's true that it's never too late to start caring about your health. Bodies are resilient. They respond quickly when supported. But it's also true that it can be too late to make up for lost time. Muscle mass, bone density, flexibility, and cardiovascular efficiency don't disappear overnight, but they do decline when neglected. And rebuilding them takes longer than maintaining them ever would have. That's why health stops being about motivation and starts being about respect. You don't move because you love exercise. You move because your body is the vehicle for everything you want to do. You can't do or accomplish anything without a functioning body. Let's normalize something. Hating the gym doesn't make you lazy or undisciplined. For a lot of people, gym culture feels industrial, metal, soulless, and aggressively uninviting. The fluorescent lighting, the clanging, the mirrors, the sales tactics that turn into a moral test, the unspoken hierarchy of who belongs and who doesn't. Add in the moral superiority layered all over it, and it's no surprise so many people opt out entirely. But opting out of the gym doesn't mean opting out of movement. What actually works is movement that feels livable. Dancing at home to your favorite songs counts. It gets your heart rate up, keeps your joints loose, and builds joy into movement rather than dread. Walking counts, especially when it's built into real life. Walking dogs at the winery. Taking solo walks when your head needs clearing. Hiking trails near home counts too, because uneven terrain builds strength, balance, and endurance without feeling like a chore. Even structured workouts don't have to look like traditional gym punishment. Circuit training works because it's interactive. Fast switches keep attention engaged and prevent the mental spiral of counting minutes. A treadmill works for the same reason. Simple, straightforward, no performance required. According to the Mayo Clinic, the best exercise routine is one you'll actually stick with, because consistency matters far more than intensity when it comes to long-term health outcomes. And here's the part people underestimate. The bare minimum still counts. Walking counts. Laborious chores count. Even sex counts. According to WebMD's guidance for people who hate working out, any activity that raises your heart rate, engages muscles, and happens regularly contributes to cardiovascular health, mobility, and energy levels. The body responds to repetition, not perfection. You don't move to prove discipline. You move to keep your body cooperative. Health with food didn't come from restriction. It came from repair. After struggling with an eating disorder in high school, my relationship with food didn't become stricter with age. It became healthier. Less about control and more about care. Less about punishment and more about function. The shift wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Eating to live instead of living to eat. Choosing foods that actually feel good in the body. Letting indulgence exist without turning it into a spiral. Most days are healthy. Not trendy healthy. Just solid, nourishing, and normal. Fast food shows up rarely. Soda exists as an occasional choice, but not a habit. And the philosophy is simple. If food choices are supportive 9 times out of 10, the 10th time can be Taco Bell without guilt or fear. That's not irresponsibility. That's sustainability. According to Harvard Health, long-term dietary health isn't about perfection or elimination, but about overall patterns. What matters is consistency over time, not isolated choices. Our bodies respond better to balance than to extremes. And mental health improves when food isn't treated as a moral issue. Reading ingredient lists became second nature after spending hours choosing food for a pet once. If that level of care makes sense for an animal, it makes sense for a body you have to live in every day. Organic food feels appealing because it resembles what food is meant to be. Fewer additives, fewer surprises, and fewer unknowns. It's not about fear. It's about preference. Reducing seed oils followed the same logic. Highly refined oils stripped of antioxidants didn't feel necessary when better options exist. It wasn't about cutting everything out. It was about choosing what felt supportive and leaving the rest behind without drama. The CDC's guidance on overall health emphasizes this exact approach. Sustainable eating patterns, flexibility, and long-term nourishment over rigid rules. Food is meant to fuel a life, not dominate it. Internal care isn't about chasing optimization. It's about offering support. My supplement routine exists as lived rhythm, not instruction. I take garlic in the morning, NAD plus a little later, L-theanine after lunch, NAC a few hours after that, and then glycine before bed, finished with some liquid collagen. The sequence matters less than the intention behind it. These choices are meant to add what food can't always provide: nutrients associated with cellular support, repair, and long-term vitality. That focus on longevity isn't rooted in fear or shame. Youthfulness is treated as a value, not a demand. Energy, recovery, skin health, and resilience matter because they make daily life feel easier to inhabit. According to Harvard Health, internal health practices that support repair and regulation contribute to better aging outcomes when they're consistent and measured, not extreme. The guardrails are what keep it healthy, and supplements aren't treated as necessities. Life doesn't fall apart without them. There's no constant stacking, no endless adding, and no chasing the next thing. Very Well Mind emphasizes that self-care works best when it supports mental balance rather than becoming another source of pressure. What touches the body matters. Not in a paranoid way, but in a practical one. Plastic is avoided at home because it's one of the easiest exposures to reduce without disrupting daily life. Heat, wear, and repeated use all increase the chance of unwanted compounds leaching into food and drinks, which turns something ordinary into a long-term stressor. According to the CDC's guidance on everyday health environments, reducing unnecessary exposure where alternatives exist is one of the simplest ways to support long-term well-being. The swaps weren't dramatic, just intentional. Drinking happens from a glass. Cooking happens with metal cookware. Food gets stored in glass containers. These changes didn't require discipline or sacrifice. They simply became the default. Once implemented, they stopped being decisions and started being background support. How this gets communicated matters too. There's no evangelizing, no lectures. Occasionally, a light suggestion might come up if someone's curious, but most of the time, it stays personal. Everyone has access to information, and everyone gets to decide what feels right for them. I'm just gonna say this right now. Ozempic isn't that girl. What's been visible up close is not a quiet miracle, but real fallout. Friends getting violently ill. Side effects that don't make it into glossy success stories. Reactions people whisper about after the fact once the hype wears off. That alone is enough to pause and ask harder questions. The stance here is simple. Ozempic is diabetes medication. Using it as a weight loss shortcut reflects how badly people want fast results. But health doesn't operate on speed. It operates on sustainability. When something requires staying on it indefinitely just to maintain the outcome, the point starts to fall apart. That's not a solution. That's medicated dependency. This isn't about moralizing bodies or shaming choices. It's a reframe. The popularity of Ozempic is a signal, not of failure, but of desperation. A lot of people want to lose weight, feel better, move easier, and live longer. And that desire is valid. The issue is that shortcuts keep bypassing the deeper fix. And the deeper fix is boring, unsexy, but effective. Movement, nourishment, consistency, and time. Here's the mature truth. You don't wait until your 60s to start caring about mobility. By then, you're not preparing, you're reacting. The body doesn't suddenly ask for attention later. It keeps score quietly, decade by decade. The goal is some reasonable form of flexibility at every decade of life. Whether that be your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, or beyond. Staying loose, staying capable, being able to fold, twist, stretch, and still pull off the human pretzel without thinking twice. Not because it's impressive, because it's freedom. Then there's the function layered on top of that flexibility. Being able to bend down, lift things, squat, move quickly, and yes, still drop it like it's hot. Movement that doesn't feel cautious or fragile. A body that responds instead of hesitates. What's scary isn't aging itself. It's the avoidable parts. Falls that turn into breaks. Bones that didn't have to be so brittle. A body that wasn't maintained early enough. And for those without a built-in care network later in life, the stakes are even higher. Independence becomes non-negotiable. That's where my grandma Ethel comes in as the blueprint. She's in her mid-80s and thriving. She does her chair yoga every day and goes on fitness excursions with friends, staying active by choice, not out of necessity. People routinely assume she's decades younger, and her biometric age backs it up. Not because she chased extremes, but because she's stayed in motion. That's what preparation actually looks like. Not punishment, not obsession. Just choosing over and over again to give future you a body that can still show up. The outside always tells on the inside, eventually. The skin is the clearest example. Teenage years marked by severe acne gave way to adult skin that now gets unsolicited compliments. That shift didn't come from chasing products. It came from changing how the body was treated as a whole. Inflammation? I don't know her. The constant puffiness, irritation, and low-grade discomfort that so many people normalize simply stopped showing up once food, movement, and internal care became consistent. Sleep became deeper and more reliable. Not perfect, but plentiful. And energy? High. Not frantic or wired. Just steady, available, and usable. The kind that lets you actually live your life instead of dragging through it. Vanity-driven wellness is about how it looks to other people. It's performative. It's loud. It's exhausting. Self-respect-driven care is quieter. It's about how life feels inside your body when no one is watching. And that difference shows, whether you're trying to prove anything or not. And you can actually see this mindset play out with people who've treated health as maintenance, not punishment. Look at Kris Jenner. She's built an entire life that requires energy, presence, and consistency. And part of that comes from staying on top of her health in ways that are sustainable, not extreme. Just consistent upkeep that allows her to keep showing up at a high level over time. Even someone like Harry Styles. His fitness isn't about the gym aesthetic. It's about stamina, performing, moving, and being able to physically keep up with the life he's living. And that's the difference. It's not about looking like a fitness person. It's about having a body that can keep up with your life. That night on the dance floor wasn't dramatic. It was humiliating and deeply clarifying. I didn't leave thinking, I need to love fitness. I left thinking, I can't ignore this anymore. That's the mindset shift. I still hate working out. That never changed. What changed is the understanding that enjoyment is not the requirement. Preservation is. I don't need to identify with fitness culture. I don't need to chase aesthetics. I don't need discipline porn or six-packs or metal gyms that feel like punishment chambers. I need to protect my future body so it doesn't keep pulling the emergency brake on my life. And that's where philosophy locked in. Maintenance, not punishment. Movement isn't about penance for eating. Food isn't about control. Supplements aren't about obsession. None of this is about being good. It's about staying functional, staying flexible, staying capable, staying able to move through the world without my body becoming an obstacle I have to negotiate with every day. Once that clicked, everything softened. I didn't overhaul my life overnight. I adjusted it. I paid attention. I chose better when it was easy and allowed indulgence when it wasn't. I stopped treating health like something I'd get serious about later, because later isn't guaranteed, and the bill always comes due. I have goals. I have dreams. I have places I still want to go, music I still want to make, stories I still want to tell. And none of that happens if I let my body deteriorate out of convenience or denial. I don't need to love fitness. I need to show up for myself. And that distinction changed everything. The first practical shift was learning to move in ways I don't hate. Stop choosing movement you resent. If the only version that counts is something that makes you miserable, consistency is dead on arrival. Start where you'll actually follow through. If dancing around the house gets your heart rate up, do that. If walking the dogs feels natural, lean into it. If circuit training works because it keeps your brain engaged and distracted, that's not a flaw. That's a strategy. Movement doesn't need to be impressive. It needs to be repeatable. The second shift was making friction illegal. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because starting feels annoying. Too many steps, too much pressure, too many rules. So remove the barriers. No outfit changes required. No gym commute. No hour-long commitment. 10 minutes still counts. One walk still counts. One song still counts. You don't need to do it right. You just need to actually do it. When showing up feels effortless, consistency stops being a battle. The third shift, and maybe the most important, is preparing by decade. Don't wait until your body forces a lifestyle change. That's the hard way. Protect mobility now so flexibility isn't a memory later. Protect circulation now so energy doesn't drain earlier than it has to. Protect your bones, joints, and balance now so aging doesn't feel like a constant negotiation with fear. Preparation isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It's choosing movement today so your future body doesn't have to beg for it tomorrow. Now for this week's challenge, which I'm calling the Meet the Motion Challenge. It's pretty simple. For the next 7 days, choose one health anchor. Just one. Not a full overhaul, not a personality change. One small, intentional choice you can actually keep. That might look like a daily walk. It might be 5 minutes of stretching in the morning or before bed. It could be a dance break in your living room when your energy dips. Maybe it's one circuit-style workout this week. Maybe it's upgrading a single ingredient you use all the time, like better oil, better produce, fewer unnecessary additives. The rule is simple. It has to be realistic enough that it still happens when the week gets busy, when motivation dips, and when life does what it does. If it feels fragile, it's too big. This isn't about proving discipline. It's about choosing care, deliberately, quietly, and consistently. Health doesn't change because of one perfect week. It changes because of small choices repeated without drama. And this is going to be done alongside you, not as a finished product, but as someone actively choosing to protect their future, one doable decision at a time. Health is not a future problem. It's a present-day reality that keeps score whether attention is paid to it or not. The body remembers the shortcuts, the neglect, the years of I'll deal with it later. It also remembers care. It remembers movement. It remembers restraint, nourishment, rest, and consistency. Preservation always beats perfection. This isn't about becoming the most disciplined person in the room. It's about recognizing that the body keeps the receipts, and eventually, it asks to be paid. Sometimes gently, sometimes loudly. And when that moment comes, it becomes very clear that no ambition, no relationship, and no dream survive without a functioning body underneath it. This is about showing up differently in real life. Not louder, not more curated. more grounded, more intentional. Health sits at the foundation of that shift. Without it, everything else becomes harder. Creativity, relationships, ambition, and presence. With it, everything else has room to grow. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about protecting the version of yourself that still has things left to do. Because the kindest thing you can do is be real. I'm Ram, and thanks for getting real with me today. You just finished listening to I Mean This in the Nicest Way Possible, written and produced by Richard Armand Mills.